Welcome to Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. Divine Kika is a radiant force, overflowing with positive energy, guiding you to a heart-opening, blissful, authentic tantric experience. This show will help you to expand your joy, cultivate more intimacy in your life, and rediscover the pleasure within your personal relationship. Dive in and discover untapped intimacy and true joy for yourself or with your beloved. Bring back the harmony and happiness that you long for. Let's begin an unforgettable journey that will leave an imprint on your heart and soul forever. Welcome to Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. Here's your host, Divine Kika.
Welcome to another episode of the Tantra Lounge. I am Greg. I'm here with the lovely host of the show, the Divine Kika. How are you, love?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
It's good to be back a week after our Thanksgiving, the time of giving. It somehow always seems to tie back into this show and all of the knowledge you bring. Giving is a big part of everything you talk about. So I'm very excited to get into tonight's show because we have a lot of things to discuss. Why don't you give everyone a little outline of what we're going to touch on the Tantra Lounge tonight?
Touch on touching.
Touch on touching?
Yeah,
oh, it's a touching show.
It's a touching show.
Really?
Yeah, it's exciting.
And what exactly does that mean? Just how to properly touch?
I'm going to talk with the most, like one of the people that I know is like the expert on touching and sensual massage. Okay. Like his massage is like,
really?
Like, oh yeah, when I get massages from Chris is like the best, and he makes me fly out of the table. So, and these are secrets that he knows. Like his base is on Qigong and energy work, so he knows how to send love through his touch, and he's going to teach us that. Now, let's touch a little bit on the holidays.
Let me say his name real quick, because he's coming up later in the show. Christopher Luth. He's the creator of Energy Based Sensuality and the E-Sensual Massage, which I'm very curious to find out about. You want to find out more, ConsciousConnectionInstitute.com. He'll be on later in the show. But let's talk about the holidays, as you said. How?
So, everybody's going through the holidays, and it's supposed to be everybody super happy in La La Land, like happy with family, but it's not really the case. Let's be honest with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if you're dealing with feeling, emotions, and family stuff, hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Everybody's dealing with their emotions right now.
Stress.
My clients are in turmoil this week.
Is
Everybody's
that right?
going through stuff because they're spending more time with family than they used to. Mm-hmm. And what I say is like our colors, like the ways we change in the last year, our family is not able to see it.
Right.
And we are not able to see how much they change, and we keep like taking their advice and love and care as a criticism, and then they get hurt, and then it keeps like cycling back and forth. So I just invite you to take a deep breath and remember that you are loved, and remember to enjoy your family for who they are, and just like chill through the holidays.
I took your advice in our last show. You mentioned at the time when you're around your family, some of them might say things to upset you, but you should be above it all. Deep breath. You told us how to handle it. I listened to you, and it worked. So I advise others to do the same. To try and just step away and don't let the little things affect you. It's supposed to be a time to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, see what is new about them.
Yes.
Let them know what's new about you, and give them appreciations. Tell them why you appreciate them in your life. And let the why you not appreciate them, sometimes
save it for another day.
I'm sure it's going to come out somehow, but focus on the appreciation, and I think you can get a lot more out of the holidays.
It always says something about how things come out, as you mentioned. It usually happens with too much wine. or rum punch or whatever it is you drink on the holidays.
Yeah, not enough turkey.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk sensuality and touch today. This is a very, very strong topic. We haven't touched upon touch much.
We haven't touched on touch.
So I'm very curious as to how somebody like myself, who isn't necessarily an expert, will be affected by this, and what I can do to touch better, to be more sensual. Where do we begin?
So I can give you a couple tips.
Okay, let's talk.
To the tip.
Okay.
So one of the things that we need to learn is that every folding in the body is a potential erogenous zone. So every little folding, like
Your
here,
arm,
here,
the crease of your arm.
the creases of your
shoulder,
arms, in
armpit.
between your fingers, behind your neck, in between the ears.
All creases. They're all
Yeah,
erogenous
all
zones.
the little, yes,
Really?
all of them. There are more nerve endings in there, and one of the things that most people don't realize, they say, "Well, I don't feel anything in certain area of my body,"
Right.
and when we allow ourselves to resensitize that area, because babies feel everything everywhere.
Right.
And as we go through life, we shut off our feelings and we shut off our sensations as well. And at some point, some people say, well, I don't feel nothing in my ear. I don't feel nothing in my armpit. I don't feel nothing here or there. This all can be awakened. So in Tantra, we believe we can awake that part of your body again, bring it back to feel sensation and feel pleasure there.
Because I would imagine that would be by just completely zoning your mind into whatever that space is. So let's just say for the sake of conversation, this space on the opposite end of your elbow, on the crease there, if I focus my thought and my time on that spot, are you saying that it will eventually become...
Well, if you touch
joy?
it in different ways, so resensitizing the body is getting oil
Yes.
or taking the time, but there's different modalities of touch. So I can just touch with my whole hand really slowly. I invite you to do it
I'm
too.
doing it, yeah, I'm going to do it.
And you that are listening too, just don't do it if you're driving. Just do it with both of your hands. And then you can do it in circles just with the tip of your fingers. Or you can do it with just the middle of your hand, which feels like completely
It's
different.
odd that this is actually working on me and I'm doing it to myself.
You're enjoying yourself.
I'm doing
You're
myself,
having a good time.
doing it to myself, and it seems to be
having a good
working.
time with
I am
me?
a little too much fun. It's like mutual caressing of our arms.
We're having mutual pleasure.
So
on
weird,
the
but yet
radio.
we're not touching each other. I promise, that's true. You'll see the video.
Divine Kika is an international Tantra master, author, seminar leader, relationship and sex coach. She will teach you to master your sexuality and self-awareness so you can experience fulfillment and happy relationships while living a life of love, power and passion. She guides you achieve the love life you have always wanted and have the best sex ever. If you want to create a truly happy relationship or to manifest your perfect partner, sign up for private video coaching through Skype and start creating the life you want now at www.divinekika.com.
Anyway, continue.
So here we go. And then if you go look at the back of your hand.
Yeah, so you're trickling down.
Yeah, with the back part of my fingers. And, in the Tantra, there is squeezing, there is kneading, that is scratching a little bit. And in the ancient Tantric books, there is even a little bit of blood.
Really?
We don't need to go there because we practice
to
more
each their own.
Neo-Tantra, for now. So we don't need the blood, but scratching a little bit and all of this bringing these different sensations. So my invitation to you that is listening is take your time discovering your own body. Because we don't
Pay attention.
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, lay down, put a nice towel in your bed, and take the time discovering your own body, because it's different somebody else touching you. You can go literally behind your knees and everywhere in your body using these different modalities of touch and discover, does that feel good for me behind my knees? What do I like? I like it scratched. Or if there is no sensation in there, can I do it for a few days and see if it feels different on the third or fourth time that I do it? Because the thing is, people say, I don't feel it in there, but then all of a sudden they start feeling.
Because it's a practiced or learned behavior or something. I'm
Different
finding
way
that
of
this
touching.
feels good. I was just doing that, and I'm maybe that's a sensitive spot of mine that I never knew about. We all know our certain spots, the trigger spots, for most guys I know, everybody has their own. I have the ear and underneath the ear behind it, that is very sensitive to me. So anything that happens, and so if somebody comes to whisper in my ear, a lot of times, especially if it's some burly man's coming, I'm don't whisper too close, I back off. I don't want them to get too close. I don't want to get
in trouble.
Well, if you were to whisper in my ear or get too close, just the feeling of that, or the breathing would trigger me.
Yeah. And then the woman on the right side of their neck, there is a connection straight to their genitals.
Is that right?
Actually, it's straight pearl.
Okay, it's straight.
I'm wearing pearl. So it's straight to the pearl that comes from the pearl through the chest all around the neck, the right neck, and it goes around. It goes all the way to the frenulum. So when you're kissing, if you stimulate the frenulum, you're actually stimulating her pearl.
For those of you that don't know where the frenulum is, it's right above the middle of your top front teeth, right?
And that little skin,
the thing that like connects the lip
there.
to the gums.
That's your frenulum.
So
it's
that's
not a sexy word to say,
no,
but it is very sexy for a woman to be touched in there because it will wake her pleasure.
Oh, that's
it's
interesting.
like you're touching her pearl.
Okay, it's amazing that you found that today. The pearl.
We found pearls.
I'll never take that. That word will never mean the same thing to me ever again. I'll hear pearl and I'll automatically be like, oh, I see. Even if there's no hidden meaning to it. The pearl, huh?
Pearl.
But that's interesting. So if you kiss the side of the woman's right side, man's left side, so you're looking at her on your left, her neck there would be a very sensitive spot.
Yeah. And so I like to go like, may I touch your chest and your neck? So I would go like, from a woman, come from the belly and then go, and then go like,
it would be
your
right
on
side,
that
so
side.
You come up.
So it would be like coming this way,
yeah,
and then touching, maybe taking the time, and then
down the middle,
all the way to the lip.
Let me tell you something. You learn things on this show that you never would have imagined you'd ever think or do. And I'm taking all of this. I hope others are doing the same. I'm taking all this information and I'm trying to become better, a better lover, a better teacher. This is amazing and so simple. I would have never, ever in my life guessed that would be the case.
So when you're making love, you can actually just stimulate right there, and it will cause more sensation for her. Now, the touch, like we don't know the reflexology of touch, like that different fingers are connected to different elements and different parts of our bodies and send different energy. So if I want to fire and water, and I can send through this, and then so I'm sending steam and I'm sending heat when I use these two first fingers.
Right.
So different sensations can be explored differently when you know this way that your body works.
So because later on in the show we have Christopher Luth who will be on, the creator of Energy Based Sensuality, the E-Sensual Massage. Is this his specialty? Is this what or is this sort of segue into this?
We used to do this little class. It's called How to Please a Woman from Head to Toe, and How to Please Man from Head to Toe. And it's a class in bikinis. And people were blown away, which like the sensations we can cause. Like it's a whole day of exploration. So couples come and they learn how to touch each other and touch to stimulate.
This is. Do a lot of people show up for these types of courses? Yeah.
Yeah. So now,
do you teach them? Is it something you actually go in and teach, or is it something?
I do. I teach it myself too. Now, I just want to give one tip real quick.
Sure.
So if I'm touching you, can I touch your arm?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's just the arm, I promise. It's just the arm. So if I'm touching down, this is something important for people to learn. It's like, and it's something I learned with Chris too. It's like if I'm touching down with my hands, I'm soothing you and calming you.
Right.
Once I'm coming, like touching up, I'm stimulating and exciting you.
I feel that difference.
Do you feel that?
Absolutely do.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. And if I'm going sideways, I'm confusing you.
Nothing much.
I'm confusing you.
Yeah, when you went down, which is, so I'm trying to put this in perspective. When you pet a dog, when you pet from their head to their tail, it's smooth, and it's like a soothing. If you go the opposite way on the dog, it gets like, yeah. You might give the dog the wrong idea. But if you go... If you
Pat the head of the dog down.
But you know what I mean? If you go against the grain, the hair, you're pushing their hair up almost. So it's a different kind of feeling. It's not
pushing
as soothing.
Everything up. And the sensations go up.
No
and
pun
the
intended,
go
yes.
up. So remembering that would be a good metaphor for people to remember that when they're touching their partner. It's like calming, touching down, going up, exciting.
So down, calming, up, exciting. That is easy to remember because up means you're excited.
See the things I learned with Chris? It's been years and years that I learned so much with him. And I keep repeating the things that he taught me.
Well, we should probably, in a few, I don't know how, we're checking in with him soon.
We should get him in soon.
He's coming onto the show. So his name is Christopher Luth. You speak so highly of him, he's probably texting you as we speak.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and Kika will be talking to Christopher Luth. If you want to check the website, I'll give it to you now. ConsciousConnectionInstitute.com. We'll be back shortly with more from the Tantra Lounge.
Hi, I'm Divine Kika. I'm here to invite you to my new radio show, this and every Saturday at midnight, to inspire you to create loving, happy, fulfilling relationships in your life and have the best sex ever. I'll teach you tantric sex secrets never known before to spice your life and to give you greater joy. Join me this and every Saturday at midnight. Divine Kika Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. For more information, go to divinekika.com.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Kika.
It's so nice to have you in the show. I'm not going to dare to try to say your name, Chris Luth, because you always say that I mess it up. So why don't you say your name?
Oh, really? Did I say that? I don't remember.
Yeah. Hi. Say your name, please.
Oh, my name is Chris Luth.
Yeah? And you're the awesome conscious toucher. That's what I heard. That you go around and you touch people and make them fly away with pleasure.
I don't know. What do you think?
I know. I don't think. I know.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll believe you then.
So how did you connect, Chris, this work with being a Tai Chi, Qigong master and coming to do the sensual work and learning Tantra? How did those two came together?
Well, let's see here. Basically, the Tantra I had started when I was 17 years old, which was a few years into my martial arts career. But it was actually the exact same time that I switched my martial arts over to just Tai Chi and Qigong, just to the internal energy work. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, they started at the same time. They coexisted simultaneously for a number of years, 8 or 9 years, 10 years, let's say. And then I went off into the, Tai Chi and martial arts world for quite a long time.
Which you did very really well, right? You're a champion and all of that.
Right. And so I just sort of focused there. I was teaching all over the world. And about 15 years ago, I kind of came back around to my sort of Tantra roots, and or at least the ones that were there, and started to realize that all the work that I had been doing with energy with people for since I was a young one there, all that work I had been doing was really applicable to the Tantra work and applicable to touch and hugging and our sensuality and our lovemaking and all this. And that even all the sparring and the grappling and the wrestling and all these things where you're just, in this, intense pugilistic grappling or sparring situation with somebody, that really that was all working with energy, because I was doing internal arts. It was working with energy, and it was working with, deep, close physical relationship with people's energies. And it really became clear that could transfer over into things that were less aggressive and pugilistic, and were more sensual and love-oriented.
So I imagine that, like, as in martial art, you kind of like to know what your opponent is going to do so you don't get hurt. So in that way, does that help? That awareness helped you to touch better, you think?
Well, I don't know if that awareness helped me to touch better. That awareness helped me to be able to read other people's energies better. So in the sense that I could read someone's energy much more effectively, I could then know how and when to touch them and in what way. So from that standpoint, yes, it gave me more information.
So for the average person that never heard anything about Tantra, that has a partner and they have a regular sexuality, where do we begin with them? What would you tell them at first? Like for this, people that are listening to us on the radio right now that want to go home and give something sweet to their partner.
Okay, that's an interesting question. Wow. Well, what I would do if they want to go home and give something sweet to their partner and they're new to all this is I would probably suggest that they, get online and go to your website or go to one of my websites No, not honestly, or someone else's, but somebody who is working in this field, like yourself or me, and go to their website and see if there's a workshop being offered in their area, or an online workshop, or something that speaks to conscious touch, or the art of lovemaking, or kissing, or how any of these things that they're looking for to be with their partner, if they want to upgrade that. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I just think that's that's being offered out there, as you know.
Absolutely,
both of us are doing that.
No, but we can give them something to take home right now. I know they're gonna go to divinekika.com and what is your website again? ConsciousConnectionsInstitute.com, and they're gonna learn about the beautiful things that we do, and we will have an upcoming retreat where they can come and enjoy all the beautiful touching and all the delicious things that we teach. But other than that, like, where one begin? Like, can you talk about the awareness of how do we know when to touch somebody? Like, if we're on a first date and we don't know when to start touching, when is the right time to start that connection on touch?
Well, okay, so if it's on a first date, what I would say is that when you meet that person, how you touch them with your hand, if there's a handshake, the way that you touch with your hand, and maybe hopefully use your other hand to make contact, being sensitive to how you make that contact and what type of energy you transmit with it. Basically, when we touch somebody, I guess the point here is that that's a socially acceptable touch because you're meeting someone. So have a moment of touch that is allowed right here. And when we touch somebody, the way that we do it is really communicating to them a lot. It's communicating.
Oh, yes.
This is how I feel
about you.
This is what I would like to do with you. This is the way I would touch you if we were making love, So
So if I give a handshake, I imagine that's how I would make love to you, and I touch his hand like that.
If that's what you're feeling, if you feel that type of interest in that person, absolutely.
I see.
And
so how can we bring it to our hands? How do we do this connection?
Well, from a standpoint of like, you're going to take this home and do this tonight, without much more time to figure it out, I would just say that it has to do with really connecting with your heart and your energy in your heart. Like, what is this feeling of love or desire that I have inside my heart? And just sort of relaxing your arms and doing this before you go on this date, like when you're sitting in the car getting ready to go meet this person, not driving, but sitting still, and just relax your arms, feel that feeling in your heart, and see if you can send it down your arms into your hands. And just really see if you can feel that energy that's in your heart, or that energy of sensuality that you feel, can it go out into these two hands that are just sitting here in your lap? Or, can you make it go out there? And see what that feels like. And then just go, okay, now that's what it's going to feel like when I shake hands with this person, or when I hug this person. I know I want it to feel like this sense of sensuality and love coming into my hands. And hopefully when you go in to shake hands or give them a hug, you'll be able to do that. You'll remember, okay, that's how that feels. I want to put this energy in here and bring it right to them.
That is sweet, because most people don't have that awareness when they're going to meet somebody, or what they're touching or feeling, and what is they saying with their touch. And I know, like, the ways you teach, you brush a lot on that, like how we really let people know how we feel about them with the way we are touching them. And touching, I like when we teach kissing workshops and you talk about the love bomb. I love that expression. Can you talk about the love bomb like we talk about in the workshops? Because that's so beautiful.
Okay. Well, it's a particular kiss that I suggest that people try, which is it's just the gentlest kiss on somebody's body. Usually, let's say if you're doing a massage, it's on their back, or maybe it's on their forehead or their hand or arm, and it's a kiss in which you just take all this, you focus on the love in your heart, take it up, bring it up through your neck, through the muscles in your neck and out to your lips, and you just pour it into them with that kiss. And it's an extremely gentle, non-active kiss. It's as if you were going to kiss the back of your own hand. If you were to do that right now, it would be that same type of kiss. It's short, it's sweet, and it's just energy you're sending in there. You're depositing this energy in them, this love.
Welcome to Tantra Lounge.
Sex Talk Radio.
Divine Kika is a radiant force, overflowing with positive energy, guiding you to a heart-opening, blissful, authentic, tantric experience. This show will help you to expand your joy, cultivate more intimacy in your life, and rediscover the pleasure within your personal relationships. A lot of people have questions out there about Tantra. I think there's a lot of misconceptions, would you say? Some misunderstandings about what it's all about?
Yeah. When I say I'm a Tantra teacher, people look at me like I wish I could show you their faces. They have these big eyes and like a little, and excitement. It's like a little bit of fear and a little bit of nervous, and they look with these big eyes and a big smile because a big part of them is really curious about what it is.
Of course.
But then there is a little bit fear. So it all means excitement.
I think so. It's a stimulating topic.
Tantra is a path like Zen or yoga that uses sexuality as a door to awareness.
That's right.
And then Tantra is also choosing with awareness what brings us joy. Now, if we're expanding that, like what is really be conscious enough, knowing oneself enough, knowing your surroundings, knowing what your deepest desires, fears, emotions, and send that into how can I bring more joy into my life? And from that joy, expand throughout all those around me.
Absolutely. I think that when it comes to Tantra and sex, it's such a hot topic. Of course, people are interested in it. Of course, they want to hear about it. They want to talk about it. But really, it's just scratching the surface of it. Although sexuality is very much embraced in Tantra, it is really not the primary focus or point.
That is sweet. It's like leaving a mark of love.
Exactly.
I love that. So what is the new thing? I know you always come to me and when we talk, we haven't spoken in a while, and like you always say, oh, I found this new thing, this new touch, oh, did you know if you touch here and then you push there and then it makes the person do this or that. So what is the new thing that you have? What is the new exciting touch or new thing that you are working on touching and sensuality?
Well, the thing that's most, I don't know what's like extremely new right at the moment, but what's most inspiring to me and is relatively new in the last couple of years is the whole sensual massage system that I teach, which is a energy-based sensual massage system. And that's been extremely inspiring to me. It's very different than anything I've seen offered out there or in books.
I'm hearing some noise.
I'm sorry, Steve?
There's some noise in the background there. I don't know what it is.
Okay. How are we now?
Good.
Okay, good.
So tell me more about the touch.
Yeah, so it's very inspiring to me. It's it's from what I've seen very unique and it involves working with your energy and with your entire body to go into a sensual massage scenario with somebody. There are many different levels to it, but there's several different levels I teach, 4 different levels, and it's just stunning, gorgeous stuff. And I guess what I would say is that it builds sensual energy very methodically and gradually, and in a way that feels very safe to the receiver, and again really builds the energy. So we're working with building energy upon energy, and it's a beautiful experience. The suggestion I was going to make for somebody going home tonight, if they are just if they have a partner, let's say, if it's not a first date, is to offer to give them a massage. And one tip from this essential massage system would be to use oil. That's probably a good idea, something like coconut oil.
Yeah. Lots of coconut oil.
Yeah, there you go. And to massage their partner's body in a way that is sensually stimulating to themselves, to the massager. Like,
what would feel good to me, I try to do it to my partner.
Yes, and we're not losing focus on the partner at that moment, but we're realizing that if we really get into our own body and into our own flow and let that go out in contact with our partner, it becomes more like a dance. And you want it. And the other thing is to use more of your body, not just your hands, but your forearms. So you'll put oil up your forearms and up on the outside of your arms. You might put oil on your thighs and your knees. So that when you caress them, you're caressing them not just with your hand, but your hand and your forearm and this forearm and that knee. So your whole body is involved with doing it. It's very much
want a
like
massage.
What's
now.
that?
I want a massage from you right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, so people at home, you put the oil on your hands, put the oil on your knees and on your legs, and try to use all parts of you to massage your partner.
Yeah, and you're all up your arm, all up the insides of your arms, and really let
inside
your
of
whole
the
body
arm too. And that's something that I discovered when I touch somebody with actually the insides of my arms. It feels good on me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like when I actually feel a lot of sensation in my body when I'm touching somebody. I really enjoy that sensation of touching somebody, and it's a lot of people don't realize that is a very pleasurable thing to actually touch somebody and try to make somebody feel good. It feels good for you too. It's something that people forget. They just think that they're giving, but they're not receiving at the same time. And I think that's something so important that we realize when we are giving touch, when we are giving all this loving energy, that we are receiving at the same time just the happiness of seeing somebody receiving and feeling love and the sensations. And if we're really connected with them, we are feeling it with them. There's something you want to say about that?
I think you said it quite well. I just find that when what I teach people to do is to just sort of lose themselves in the act of doing that, and when that happens, in the act of connecting with their partner physically and moving with them, when that happens, it kind of creates a very sort of pure and magical energy, and their partner has a wonderful experience.
Yeah, when the both partners can really understand that is not one person feeling as we're both feeling at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful. So tell me more. What else you have to say to us today?
What else do I have to say to you? Okay.
You're quite good at the art of seduction. I know that.
Oh, no.
Oh, don't say no. I know you well. So I know you very well. Do you want to talk about seduction and what does that mean to you?
Oh, gosh. Let's try a different subject today.
Okay, I'll let you go for a little bit, but I'll go back to it. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, how about kissing?
Kissing. Oh, good. That's been my favorite subject lately. We talk a lot about kissing on this show.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So tell me what because you're the master. You taught me a lot about kissing. Like you started this whole kissing thing, and now I'm taking it all over the place.
Oh, so, that's awesome. That's
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I will say that the kissing workshops I teach two levels of it, and we call it the energetics of kissing, because all of my work, all my sensuality work and sexuality work is energy based. It's coming from that 40 years of Qigong energy work and so on like that. And it's called the energetics of kissing. Again, it focuses on how to build energy and work with energy when you're connecting with somebody, in this case, kissing. And, I will say that it's probably the sweetest of all the workshops that I teach. It's the one that is, that touches my heart the most. And I find that, that's what kissing really is. Kissing really is something that kind of reaches in and draws things out of our heart, really connects to our heart, maybe more than any other act. And
it harmonizes the couple, it revitalizes the giver and nurtures the receiver, all of that.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. That. Yeah. Yes. So, I guess that's without kind of going into great details.
Well, give us one kiss, because actually I'm making a kissing DVD. Your mystery kiss is going to be there, and I'm going to name you. This is Chris Kiss.
I'm sorry, say that again. It broke up right then.
I'm creating this kissing DVD, and a couple of your kisses are going to be there. I'm going to name you.
Oh, nice. That's beautiful. Awesome.
Yeah, because they're awesome. I like the mystery kiss, and then like the whole thing about it. And why don't you tell us about your French girlfriend and all of that story? That's a hot story to tell.
Okay. Well, yes. So, we were living together, and she was not my girlfriend, but she was somebody that I was intimately involved with, and we were very, very close friends and also intimate friends. And we would spend a lot of time kissing. We just, she liked to kiss a lot.
Like how long? Like hours kissing, or?
Yes, we would say, okay, Thursday night, let's get together, and we're just going to kiss for hours. And we would kiss for hours, but we would.
How many hours?
2, 3, 4. 2,
3, 4? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So I was just going to say, you just call her like, let's have a kissing session of 3 hours.
Yeah, and we would, but we were experimenting. We would get into all different positions, try all different things.
I've been doing that.
And we would just try all these things, and then sometimes we'd just be hanging out, and we'd be making breakfast in the kitchen or something like that, and I would get an idea, and I'd go, oh my God, this would be incredible. And I'd look at her, and she could tell right away, and then we would just, in the middle of the kitchen, just start kissing and practice and doing this new thing or whatever, or at a party or wherever. It was just, we kind of got into this flow of, well, this is how we're creating. We're working as creators together, and some really gorgeous stuff came out of it.
I know. I love your workshops. You're like the best kisser I know. Like
That's really sweet.
Yeah, because you know all this stuff.
Divine Kika is an international Tantra master, author, seminar leader, relationship and sex coach. She will teach you to master your sexuality and self-awareness so you can experience fulfillment and happy relationships while living a life of love, power, and passion. Achieve the love life you have always wanted and have the best sex ever. For life-changing relationship advice and great lovemaking tips, visit divinekika.com. That's divine, Kika.com.
So early on, you want to talk about the early days of the things that you did in the past about dancing and stuff like that. Can I ask you about it?
Oh, Christ.
People want to know. These are the things you didn't know you signed up for. Because it's like your whole life is being so you can do this work. I know that about you. Like you were dancing before, and tell me about your dancing time. So I'm gonna say I let you say the rest.
All right. Okay. Good. So yes, I have always loved to dance. I love to dance now. I've been doing. I mostly do contact improvisational dance.
Oh, that's not what I want to talk about.
I know. And so I've been doing that for 20-ish years, and I teach some workshops in that, applying some of these, internal arts principles to contact improvisational dance. But what I think you're talking about is that back when I was 21 years old,
you've always been gorgeous.
I worked for a year or so as a male stripper.
Uh-huh.
And I think that was the one you were looking for, right?
Exactly. So when you did that, what did you learn about seduction? What did you learn about sensations in your body? What did you learn about really the art of loving better? Well,
that's an interesting question. Honestly, at the time, I was really just into the dancing and into my own experience of it. So that was really beautiful. It allowed me to kind of go up on stage and really just express myself and get into my expression and let people sort of receive that, however they would, and to try to make that dancing be something that spoke to them or moved them. But I think primarily I was doing it for myself, and so it taught me. I mean, I was young, So
but what it brought to your life today? What do you got from it? This is what I would like to know. Like the most, what do you got from the whole experience? How did that affect you today? Your confidence as a man and all of that.
Right.
Because a lot of guys, they don't get that opportunity to really go out there and dance and have women cherishing them and saying how beautiful they are, and they don't know how beautiful they are. And they don't get that chance to feel that, because that confidence that really attracts women. And a lot of guys would like to have more of that.
Certainly. Well, I would say it definitely, it definitely contributed to that confidence. There's no doubt about that. And, but I guess I'd also like to say is that so many other things were much greater contributors to my confidence, and particularly the martial arts work and the energy work, and being a teacher for the last 35 years or so. And those things really all contributed much more to my confidence. So I guess I want the men to know that they don't need to go out and be a male stripper.
I don't know.
But this was not the biggest thing that contributes to the confidence.
So tell me about the martial art, and how did that give you more confidence? What was the main key in practicing martial art that make you a more confident man?
Well, the main key is that the particular arts that I spent the majority of my time doing were Tai Chi and Qigong, and the sparring and grappling aspects of the Tai Chi. And they really focus on centering and grounding, or what you might call rooting your energy into the earth. So this is an extreme focus on that. You're really working, you have low stances, you're dropping into your body, you're building energy, and you're learning how to get that all focused and consolidated in the center of your body and connect to the earth, so that you're like a statue. You're like you're like rooted like a tree. So these things, those energy qualities, really contribute a lot to a person's, confidence. This ability to feel that centered and strong and stable and connected to the earth is a big thing.
And that's, as a woman, we crave that kind of man that is connected and is grounded, and he really feels safe to be with, because he's strong on his stand. That feels really good and safe to be around.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
that's more essential than anything else, I think.
Yeah, I get that feedback. People, women will say that they feel very safe or comforted or secure with me, and probably because of those energies.
So for the average Joe that is out there and wants to learn something about this, like, what is the first step that he can do in order to show up as a more grounded man?
Well, I would really suggest that he look into probably some Tai Chi, honestly, and maybe combine it with some Qigong classes. But I think that would be a really wise idea. And to focus on finding a Tai Chi class or teacher where they focus a lot of energy on this idea of rooting or grounding, sending energy into the ground and being connected to the earth. And I think that's very important.
Beautiful. And can you give them one exercise that they can do to start to have a feeling of what you were talking about here?
Gosh, I can't think of anything that I could communicate by voice over the radio here, unfortunately. So yeah, I think it's a little bit more complex than that, but not horribly complex, but a little bit more than the radio would work with.
A little deeper. Yeah. Little deeper. So what else do you want to give us today?
Say that again, sweetie.
What else you would like to give us today?
Oh, okay. What else would I like to give you today? Gosh, I don't know. I think that my main message is that your experience of sensuality and love and connection to your partner, and your ability to be attractive to the opposite sex and so on, has to do with your energy. It has to do with the energy that you generate. This is energy that can be generated by doing work in these fields, whether it's Tai Chi or Qigong, or whether it's doing Tantra work or meditation. But it really has to do with your energy and how you carry that and how you present that to the world. And that's going to apply to how you physically touch people. It's going to apply to just simply the confidence or the openness with which you show up, which then becomes attractive to others. It applies to everything. It's really all about energy, I guess, is really what I'd like to tell you.
Yeah, and I know you have the most gorgeous girlfriends and like all of that. And all this woman that you don't particularly drive, a super hot car or dress super hot or whatever. You is who you are. Who really comes out.
And then it's very attractive. Your presence creates that energy that feels good to be around, and people crave to be around you. And I wish that men really understood that who they are and their intention and everything that they're thinking and feeling influence the way women perceive and feel about them. And it's very beautiful that you touch upon that, because that's something that as a woman too, if we feel strong in ourselves and if we feel loving ourselves and if we have enough time nurturing ourselves and giving ourselves enough love, then when we come around men, and if we can drop in a little bit on our feminine, because we tend to go to work these days and kind of like be more masculine, a little bit more rigid, but when we can surrender in that feminine and have that real intention of connection and sense sweetness and love, that is attractive for men as well. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, the most attractive woman to me, excuse me, is someone who, is dominantly yin or feminine, but has the ability to move over into that yang or masculine, active role when needed. But the dominance of that soft femininity is there. It's I think for all of us, what we're really looking for is somebody who can play in the full range of energetic experiences. That they can be, when needed, they can be strong and assertive and masculine. When needed, they can be soft and feminine and gentle. And if it's a man, then we want them to be dominantly masculine, but to be able to have access to these more feminine states when needed. If they are a woman, we want them to be dominantly feminine, but to have the ability to act or access these more masculine qualities if needed, or when it's appropriate. And that could be simply when it's appropriate in social situations or in the flow of life, or it could be you're making love and this wonderful, sweet, gentle, soft, feminine woman that you're with most of the time decides that tonight she's going to pin you down and take advantage of you, and that's it. And you start moving around. She says, "Stop moving," or, and holds you down, And that's a real turn on if it's coming from somebody who is dominantly feminine and then suddenly they move to that state. It's beautiful. It's really, awesome stuff. So we kind of want that type of flexibility and range of, energy control from our partners.
That's beautifully said. That's beautifully said.
We all know the physical aspects of sex, but we rarely hear of the spiritual side. 10 Tantric Sex Secrets for Greater Sex, Love, and Intimacy Tonight by Divine Kika will bring you extraordinary bliss. This titillating and easy-to-read book will transform your ordinary sex life to breathtaking, amazing, powerful. Great for beginners, let this book be your first step to a happier love life. 10 Tantric Sex Secrets for Greater Sex, Love, and Intimacy Tonight. Available in hard copy, ebook, and audio format at divinekika.com. That's divine, Kika.com.
I'm real excited about your new book, 10 Tantric Sex Secrets. And it's really beautiful that you came out with this, and so I'm hoping that everybody can find it and read what she's written here and take a great start to your own tantric journey and take a look at this sweet book. It's a great little pamphlet. It's easy to read, and Kika's just wonderful.
We need to dance on our feminine and our masculine, and that will create more connection. And then we need to be aware of our energy and be grounded. And so what else would you think that create a beautiful lovemaking, that create that beautiful connection where the energy actually expands and both lovers feel fulfilled? What is the key for everything other than, and we know that energy and being grounded and being on the divine feminine and divine masculine. Is there anything else that you think is a key?
Well, you're going to need to bring a lot of presence to it. You're going to need to be very present. You can say very conscious or very aware, but very present, because it's so easy to just get into the sexual aspect of something, to get into the genital sexual interaction response process, and and that's fine, and that can be sort of highly energized and interesting sex, but if we really want to be making love, we need to stay present enough with, our consciousness and our heart throughout that process.
So how can we do that? Be more present.
Well, slowing down to start with, because usually if we move through anything quickly, we are a little bit too distracted by the details of what we have to do so quickly to actually be present and aware of other things that are going on, like our heart connection and so on. So I would say slowing down is a key right there. Slowing down however much you need to, even if it's a lot, so that you continually can bring your awareness back to, whether you are present and conscious with your partner and you're feeling, the emotional connection there with your partner, and how am I touching my partner? How does this feel? And, adding communication in there too.
So do you have any tips about the communication that you want to give to us today? Like, how can we say a little bit to the left, please, without our partner get offended or get hurt, or to cause separation instead of connection? How can I say, I would like to explore something different without him feeling or her feeling, she doesn't like me anymore, or he doesn't like me anymore,
Sure. Yeah, that's a very delicate subject, and it's a very good question. I'll take it as two different questions. The first one being, how can we ask for something a little different while we're in the process? And excuse me, the way that I suggest people do that is to say, wow, the way that you're touching my arm or my leg is really, really awesome. I love the way that feels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm wondering if you take your other hand and you touch me in this way, how that would feel.
I like that.
We just say something really sweet and acknowledging about something they're doing. It could be simply, maybe we don't even like the way they're touching us. It could be just, pardon me, I love the way that you're looking into my eyes, or I loved how soft your face looks right now, or I love the way that your body is positioned at this moment. It could be just anything that we can acknowledge in the most beautiful and sweet way, and then say, and I was wondering what it would be like if you would move your hand to this position, or if you move your hand a little slower over here. Can I experience that? Mm-hmm. So, that acknowledgement opens them up at first, and then they're willing to receive that request. If it's, we want to just start our lovemaking session and we want to, like tonight, I wish we could do this instead, right? Or could we try something like this? One thing that I tell all the people that go to my workshops is that I tell them you need to practice. It's very important. This stuff is not anymore, you're no more born a master kisser or toucher or lovemaker than you are born a master dancer or martial artist or singer. You have to practice it just the way you practice any other art.
That's beautifully said.
Yeah, and so what I tell people is, now I need you to go home and practice, and what you can do is you can tell your partner that you were in this workshop and you were told to practice this type of kiss or this type of touch or this type of sexual thing. Or you read this book and you thought, and in the book it says you should practice this, such and such. Mm-hmm. Or you heard about this and they suggested that you practice such and such. So this, and then you say, do you think we could try experimenting with that? I was told to practice this, or I read about this and they suggested that we practice it. Mm-hmm. So it kind of puts it into a third-person situation. It puts it into a situation where some other source authority has said, hey, this would be a good thing for you to practice, and puts you then in the same position with your partner, like, shall we try this together?
As a suggestion. Beautifully said. Now, I love it. That's going to open a lot of doors for people that are in partnerships and want to feel a little more and explore a little more. Now they have a way to ask and feel a little more.
It works like a charm, honestly. It really does. People really receive that well. Well, okay. Well, I guess that sounds kind of interesting. They receive it really well. It's no longer has that feeling of like, well, you don't like the way I do this, you mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't like me then. And then how about when I have a resistant partner? When people have a resistant partner that don't want to try something different, what do you suggest? Well, we can't leave them.
You can't leave them?
Run!
No, I'm just kidding. You just got to do your best to make it fun. You got to do your best to make it fun and lighthearted and creative, and read an article, read a book with them or something like that, and say, well, what do you think? Should we try this? Like we somehow have to engage them in it, right? Because otherwise, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. So how do we engage them? Will we grab an article, or we grab a book, or we find something on the internet? We start reading it and say, oh, hey, look at this. Can we read this together for a minute? Try to get them engaged. And then you can say, what do you think? Can we practice that?
Yeah. Awesome. This is great. This is great tips. And I think people can get a lot from what you said today. And I really appreciate all that you're sharing with us, and your wisdom and the love that you bring. And I look forward to co-creating with you again. And maybe we can do that workshop in Costa Rica like we're planning.
I think we will do that retreat very soon. I think hopefully some of the people that are listening today will get to be there with us.
Yeah, and then they can come with their partners and discover all the ways that they can find more blessing to their lives. That would be wonderful.
That would be great.
Yeah, so to get in touch with you, we go to consciousconnectionsinstitute.com. Is that right?
Right, and exactly. The information is on the website right there, a list of all the different workshops and materials and all that kind of stuff.
And can people email you questions if they have any questions about what you talked about in the show?
Yeah, sure, they can. They can email me at consciousconnectioninstitute@gmail.com. Okay,
so can you repeat that again?
consciousconnectioninstitute@gmail.com.
Awesome. You can go to Divine Kika, Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio, and post your comments. And I will share with you, Chris, on Facebook as well. And thank you so much for being part of the show today. It was wonderful talking to you, and I look forward to see you in person. Goodbye, Chris. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kika. See you soon.
See you soon. And this is the end of Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. And I wish you happy holidays. And I will see you sometime real soon. Bye-bye.